So today I'm going to be working on Vin Diesel, my pick-em-up truck. What we're going to do is I'm having an issue with this handle not working. It just flops. This one still has pull and it still works, but it makes people feel kind of captive, you know, captive audience. Yeah, that was a bad joke. Anyway, it won't open, and I think I know what it is. There's a little turn cam on the back of the handle, and when you pull this, it twists it, and same thing with this. This one's actually, is this one by a cable? Anyway, long story short, it's not working, so I need to get in there and see what it is. So you get a T30. These are the tools that you'll need. See if I can focus in on that. Tools you will need. You need warm hands so the buttons work on the camera, but you need a pry bar, some kind of side cuts or something to get down on those tabs with, a T30 Torx driver, and a Phillips screwdriver. So the first thing you want to do is you want to take out the two screws in the door handle. There's two of them that are Phillips that just go right in there. Now this can pull out, but you don't have to. I just leave it in there. I just leave the screws in there. The top part of the panel is going to stay on, and just the bottom part is going to come up. So you'll get down on this and on the weather stripping, and just find a spot to start and just walk it out. And you don't have to pull it all the way out. As you can see here, the bottom part's still kind of intact. So you just want to get it out of the way somewhat. The next thing you're going to do is, I just do the pry bar part next. You can pull these T30s out if you want, but you get in here in the door. See if I can rest this up and zoom it in so you can see, because this is kind of where all the action is. So you get down on this little critter, and you want to isolate the little yellow pins that are in there. Some are yellow, unless they've been replaced, and they're white. You want to do this on a warm day, not on a frigid cold day like I am. Let's see if we can get that in the shot here. Alright, so here's the yellow one. Working at the airport today. Just kidding. But see that yellow tab in there? So you want to get down on that, and you want to pry just on the tab of it so that they don't rip off. Get it started. Turn your pry bar over. Get a good bite and pull slow. And don't feel bad if they break. Sometimes you're really careful, you do everything right, and they still just bust. So anyway, pull it out to a point, leave the pry bar in there. Now I go in with my side cuts and grab it by the small parts. Just kind of pry it up. Like I say, you do it on a cold day like today, you glutton for punishment. So not going to come easy. So there's one, and I've got like 6 to go. There's one here, one here, one here, 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 and here that I'm going to have to pull. Once I get in there, there's a circle opening right here, and I usually just cut a slit in it. You got a big vent here anyway, and a speaker grill there. I mean, the door breathes anyway, that's what I'm saying. So I'll cut a slit in that, get my hand up in there, and we'll go for there. Okay, all that was off camera. I feel like a schlemiel. So yeah, body tabs here, 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 and here. There's 6 of them that we're going to have to do. I'm going to go slow off camera so I don't mess them up, because it's so cold today. But once we do that, the circle I was describing is right here, and you just cut a slit in it. It's already breathing down here. It's not a big deal. So anyway, I'll get my hand through there. At that point I'll pull this out, and then we'll have access to things to be able to fix this handle. Alright, so let's get caught up. There's one other tool that you ought to have, and that's the 8mm ratchet. I haven't looked at this one yet, I haven't got in there, but most of the time that little 8mm bolt that is a pivot point for the cam that pulls the levers for the top and bottom latch. Did I explain the top and bottom latch? There's a top and bottom latch on this. Here's the bottom one, and it corresponds to that door striker. But you got a door striker up here too for that one. So you got a rod going up, a rod going down, and then a cable on this one. So anyway, let's do the hole while I've got you out of the tripod. So when you look inside of here, you can see that there's a hole. And this one hasn't been opened yet, but you just go from the top to the bottom. You just put a slit in it like that, and that will enable you to get your hand in there to do your little surgery. So you're working through that hole, and then you also work through this handle hole here. You pull on the hand. Oh man, that's stuck. Alright, back in the tripod. I need a couple of hands for this one. I'll get used to this filming someday. I've only made 600 videos. I'm not a pro at it just yet. So I got to pull this out. Here's the two rods that I was talking about. Let's see if I can pop this off of there. So there's the rod for the downside. And the way that these come out of there is that there's a spring on the back side. See the spring? You can't really see it, can you? Let's get a little light on that. They just brought me a present this morning, one of my customers. That was sweet of them, huh? Yeah, that flashlight's not working. Let's do another flashlight. How about my pointer one? That's a good one. That's always a good call. Alright, so you see this spring-loaded thing here? So most of the time these things come undone, or here's that 8mm bolt, that will come undone. But in this case, the bolt's loose. I don't know if you can see, but it's spinning. But I think the cable, you see the cable running this way? I think the cable came undone for it. So we'll go ahead and address that. But the way that you do these is you just push the rod against the spring, and then they unhook out of there, and then you can reattach them, or you tighten this. If this comes loose, it'll make the handle not work, but both of the handles won't work. Or if one of these come undone, then both of the handles won't work. So anyway, let me get in, I'll address my cable. But the cable for this one here, I moved my pointer but I didn't move the camera, that was awesome. Either one of two things is happening. Either the cable's unhooked from up here, or it's unhooked at the anchor point down below. If it's not anchored in here, then the cable will just move, but it won't pull the handle. So that's how you get into it and fix it. Hope you enjoyed my video. Assembly is the reverse of disassembly. So anyway, it's not a super hard project, but it can be a little bit tricky if you don't know what to do, where to pull. Let's give you a little detail in the inside of this panel. The hardest part is just these stupid snaps. See, like that yellow one there? They go into these little groove things, like this one pulled right off of it. So I'm going to pry this one off, take a pry bar, and this is the part that you want to pry on them. It's just that very base. So you can pry it up like that, and then you go in with your side cuts or lineman pliers or whatever you got, and just kind of rock and twist and pull and, you know, shout and put your right arm in and take your right arm out, put your right arm in and shake it all about. So take that, get it out, and then just see those little tabs, how they slide in like that. You just put it back in. That way when you go to put your door back together, you're just going to be alright. So here's the locations of them. You got that one, you got a couple across the bottom, and then one up high here, and then one up across there that you don't really have to do, but it doesn't hurt. If you want to pull this off all the way, you just go all the way around. You'll have to take this handle off to be able to get to the stuff under here, but it's not too bad. Thanks for watching. Click subscribe if you want to see more videos like this. Click thumbs up, and have fun. Enjoy your new handle working properly. Hecho en Mexico. Hecho en Mexico. Hecho en Mexico. Hecho means made, and Mexico means in Mexico. So basically what's happened to this cable is that it wouldn't stay in place anymore. This part would stay on the door side. You can see that the latch mechanism is molded to the panel. When you pull that bolt, what you're doing is you're unbolting it from the door itself to that little tab. So you've got one part of the cable that goes to here, and then it goes in through the door and then over to where this is. You see the way that these work? It's just like a tailgate on a pickup truck. You got a rod that goes to one latch on one side and one that goes to the other, and then a cam twist at the end. So just think of it as a tailgate. That's basically the way that latch mechanism works. So when you pull on the handle, see how that twists? It pulls one way on one and the other way on the other. And then this one, where the cable goes onto it, it just actuates it the same way. So where that tab is where my cable broke. And so we'll just do the new one. So when you go to pull this panel off, it's going to be hanging by this cable. When you want to seal this back up, you just take a piece of packing tape and just put the tape over your slit that you made. It works out really slick. Or you can leave it like that. It's not a huge deal, but that's that. And I think that's all I want to say right now. So when you go to put the door handle in, this is the way the cable goes on. This is really lazy, low effort engineering, especially in the materials used. Because you got to kink this, because the door handle has to go this way, but the cable wants to go that way. So the cable is basically going into the door and just hanging a hard turn. So you got to kind of condition it, because it'll be stiff, really won't want to go in there. So what I do is, rather than force it in to get it clear past to put this in, put it in at a 45-degree angle. That's where you have the biggest amount of room, so you line all that mess up on that. I engineered the handle, we're done. Let's go to lunch, folks. So anyway, between the engineering and having it made in Mexico, something went wrong. I don't know what exact factors went into that, but so anyway, you get that in, you can bolt this in and then put in your little rods from inside here. If you want, you can put your rods in with it hanging out a little bit so you can see it somewhat. It's up to you.